Scientists gave women 3D printed models of different penis sizes, realistic shapes, accurate length and circumference. Then asked a simple question: which one would you choose? And the result surprised even the researchers. Stay with me, I'll show you the number and what it really means for you. Every guy thinks he knows the answer. Bigger is always better, right? But that belief doesn't actually match what women picked in controlled studies. And it definitely doesn't match long-term satisfaction data. Now, why the hell should you care? Now, here is why this matters so much. If you chase the wrong goal, you're going to train the wrong way. You'll measure the wrong things and you're gonna miss easy wins that matter most in bed. And today I give you real data, practical takeaways, and zero fluff. So here's how the study actually worked. Researchers printed a set of erect penis models with different lengths and circumferences. Women could actually see and hold them, and they were not just picking some drawings on a screen. Then they made two choices. One is for one-time partner, and the second is for long-term partner. Same women, two different scenarios, two different picks. Now, before I tell you the results of this study, here's a quick benchmark. What is average according to clinical data? A meta-analysis of 15,521 men found the average length to be around 13 centimeters or 5.16 inches, and the average circumference about 11.6 centimeters or 4.6 inches. So this is our baseline for normal distribution. So here are the results of this study. For a one-time partner, women chose slightly above average length and noticeably thicker circumference. And for a long-term partner, they chose slightly smaller than that, a little bit closer to the average size. So for a one-time partner, they chose 6.4 inches in length and 5 inches in circumference. And for a long-term partner, they chose 6.3 inches in length and 4.8 inches in circumference. And we assume that the reason for that is for a short-term partner, women may actually be looking for some novelty and intensity, and for a long-term partner, they want something that they feel comfortable with. Now, statistically, the circumference difference between partner types was actually the significant one and not the length. And in plain words, that means that thickness actually affects the experience way more than length. Girth is more important than length. Men usually brag about inches, perhaps because it's easier to measure and it's more visible. However, women usually brag about sensation. An earlier study actually found that women have clearer preference for girth over length when asked about their satisfaction. And women's physiology actually supports that because vaginal pressure receptors respond better to stretch. Now here's the interesting part. Most men sit near the range women actually preferred. Meanwhile, a large sample review of thousands of women revealed that 85% of women are actually satisfied with the size of their partner. However, men still worry about it. And the mismatch is actually more in our heads than it is in the bedroom. However, if you're going to track progress, make sure to measure it the same way they measure it in the studies. And that would be bone press length from the pubic bone to the tip on the dorsal side, and a midshaft circumference snug but not compressing at the same time of the day and under the same conditions. Now, if you're worried about your size and you want to optimize it, here's what to focus on. First, prioritize erection quality and girth responsiveness. Build cardiovascular support, because better nitric oxide means better expansion. And keep in mind that technique and pacing still beats size for most women. Now, if you're still insisting that you want to make it bigger, here are tools that might help. You can use an extender to help you work on gradual length remodeling. I, for example, made Epic Extender, but you can use any quality extender from the market. I really don't care. You can also use a pump to help improve with blood flow and girth expansion. Again, I made my own Epic pump, however, any good quality pump would work just fine. And third, you can help support nitric oxide production in the body. I formulated my own nitric oxide booster, which is called Epic Bone, that has L-arginine, L-citrulline, horny goatweed, and a bunch of other ingredients that help improve the nitric oxide production in the body. However, again, there's a lot of other supplements on the market that you can buy them and they probably work just fine as well. Now, if you decide to go that path, here's a routine I recommend you to start off with. 2 to 3 pumping sessions per week. Start off with low to moderate pressure. You want to focus on improving the erection quality first before you can start thinking about gaining extra girth. And 4 to 6 extender sessions per week. Again, your focus at the beginning should be to create this habit with modest tension and to avoid any numbness. And you can focus on mobility and pelvic floor relaxation on your days off. And in my opinion, tracking everything is super important. That's why I created the PE Trainer app that, first of all, it reminds you to pump and stretch. It also tracks your length. You can upload your own secure before and after photos so you can see how much you gained. And I've also made a leaderboard, so it also gamifies the experience. It gives you different badges and rewards every time you finish a workout. So you can check out the PE Trainer app on either Android or iOS. It's completely free. You can download it today and even use it with any other extender. But the bottom line is, if you're wondering what women actually prefer, they actually prefer something closer to average. So very high probability that your current size is completely fine. You don't have to stretch. You don't have to make it any bigger. You need to focus more on erection quality, on technique, and on lasting longer in bed. And anyways, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye-bye.